Hello, Michael Spoon Barbecue. Sometimes you just want meatballs, and if you don't have any ground meat, well, then you just have to grind your own if you have something to grind, which I do. I had a rear leg from a wild hog, and I think I'm going to use that. So I went to the store, and I didn't pick up any ground beef. I picked up some pork fat, and I'm going to grind that into it because the lean meat of the wild hog does not really suit itself to be ground and made burgers or meatballs out of. Anyway, I'm gonna bring you along in the process. First off, I have to debonify and chunkify the meat, and then I'm gonna grind it. So tag along if you're interested, and here we go. Okay, so here I have about 1.25 pounds of pork fat, and I also got this ham leg. I don't know how much it weighs, but I guess I will just have to weigh the meat once it's done so I can get a fat to meat ratio. Okay, so like I said, this has been frozen. It's from the freezer. That means it's gonna be a little bit hard, which is good when you're gonna grind it yourself, because that makes the grinder not seize up as easily. Anyway, yeah, it's pretty hard, but it's getting there. It's been in the fridge overnight. So we're just gonna start removing pieces like this. Might as well cut them into chunks at once. And I know this old grinder that I have, these are pretty good sized pieces. I will just leave the outer fat on this. No point trying to get rid of anything. Anyway, this is gonna be a tedious process for you to watch, so I might cut it out. We'll see. Okay, there we are. So I weighed this. It weighed 1.6 kilos, the pork meat. So I added 400 grams of pork fat, which will make it an 80-20 blend. There's almost no fat at all on the pork meat. You can translate this to 4 pounds of pork to 1 pound of fat. Anyway, and then with this, I've got 2 tablespoons of basil, 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of black pepper, 1 tablespoon of pink Himalayan sea salt, 1 tablespoon of paprika, not smoked paprika, regular paprika, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, and 1 tablespoon of onion powder. Just gonna mix this together a little bit and then add it to the mix, and that will mean that it will be ground into the meat when I grind it. Anyway, gonna mix this up so that all the pieces get some seasoning, and of course, since I'm gonna double grind this today, or triple maybe, we'll see. It's all gonna mix up in the end, any which way. And there we go, over to the grinding station. As you can see, this grinder, it's an Electrolux from early 70s, I think it is. I haven't really checked that, doesn't matter. It didn't have all the parts when I found it on as a used part, so I got this. It's actually for canning preserves, and it works pretty well. This is the original plunger, and I'm gonna use the only die I have, which is the fine one. And yeah, I guess we're just gonna get this going then. And this machine makes a lot of noise, so I'm just gonna have to talk to the side of it. Any which way, putting a few pieces of meat and fat mixed up with the spices into the grinder, and then kind of plunging it down. It usually pulls it in by itself. It will actually need 2 grinds because it's a little bit too non-mixed up to my taste. The fat comes out as such and so forth. There we go. First time, and I'm just gonna grind it once more. So I'm gonna get it back in the bowl and then run it through again, make it a little bit finer, and also mix it up. I'll probably fold it over a few times in the bowl before I'm doing that. This is what it looks like when it comes out the second time. It's way better mixed up. And there we go. This is what we have. This is fine enough for me. I wanted to have some texture, so I'm not gonna overgrind it. I don't want to make hot dogs or something like that. Anyway, time to make the meatballs. Okay, as a base for this, I've got 125 grams of ground up pork rinds. You can use regular breadcrumbs if you want. And then I'm going to be adding 4 eggs. Pro tip is to break the egg in a bowl on the side and add it. As long as you're going to open more than 1 egg, or open 1 egg, always break it on the side, because if you find a bad egg, it's really sad if you have to start all over again. So breaking it against the flat surface, you can open it with 1 hand without getting anything in there. Give it a sniff and add it to the bowl. And there we go. And also to this, I'm going to be adding 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. My dad always did that, and his meatballs turned out great. Give it all a mix. This is gonna get to be a gooey, pasty kind of thing. And there we go. And to this, of course, we're gonna be adding the meat. And then start mixing it all together. This is gonna be a rather wet batter, but that's okay. You can actually use a hand mixer for this, and then you use the bread hooks. It works really well. You could use a stand mixer for this. I'm gonna use my hands for this. This is actually when you can't use gloves anymore. I'm using gloves because I take them off all the time, adding stuff, fixing stuff on the side. But now I'm gonna make the actual meatballs. It's so much easier just using your hands, and after every 5 meatball, just wash your hands, get them wet. That way the meat is not gonna stick to your hands, and it's gonna be much easier to roll them. Okay, so let's see what we can do with this. I'm gonna roll them up, put them on one of these baking sheets, or whatever you call them, and then I'm gonna put that in the fridge and let the meatballs set up for a bit, and then in a few hours I'm gonna bring the smoker cabinet up to temp and smoke them in there. But I'm gonna bring you back for that. First off, we need to roll these meatballs. As I said, wet hands, and of course clean hands. You can make whatever size meatballs you want. I'm making meatballs that are just under the size of a golf ball in size. And this is going to be so much fun for you to watch. I'm going to make them all and show you each and every one of them like this. And there we go. So I don't know how many there are. There's one lacking over there. Or actually, it didn't really last tonight. Anyway, so I'm going to put this in the fridge to let them firm up and the tastes kind of spread out in them. And then I'll bring it back in an hour or 2. Well, look at that. That's my red Smoked Joe Premium. Not going to unpack it today. I'll do that another day. Okay, so I've got the small grills over there, the kettles. I've got the Smoky Mountain, the UDS, the first grill I ever had, the bucket grill, the tiny WSM, the mini WSM, and the smoking cabinet. I think I'm going to be using that, or actually I know I'm going to be using that because it's got, well, I'll show you. It's got 3 racks, and I think that's going to be good for the meatballs. Anyway, I'm gonna bring it out and then light it up. Okay, so I completely forgot I'd stolen the sand and put it in my WSM. I need to get some more sand. So I'm using water today. 2 pieces of plum wood, similar to cherry, regular charcoal, and 2 lighter cubes, or lighter tumbleweeds. I'm gonna light this up. I've got the left side one open, the other one more or less closed, and the top open, of course. Gonna bring this up to temp and cook these meatballs at somewhere between 250 and 300. I don't know, it doesn't matter. The lower the better, I guess, so we'll see where it settles. Okay, I'm just gonna light this up. And there we go. So I'll see you in a little while. Okay, so the charcoal's whited over. I just put 2 racks in, and this is what I did. I transferred them to one of the grates, and then that's about it. Gonna put these in here. I'm gonna be using my Inkbird IBT2X that I got recently. Actually works quite well, I must say. Anyway, I did put a probe in one of the meatballs. I don't know if that's gonna work, but well, it'll be an experiment, I guess. And then I have the probe for the cooker on the middle tray, just like that. So I'm gonna give this an hour and a half at least, and I'll tell you afterwards what temp I held. Okay, so what I did was that I set up a program for wild hog. Wild hog is safe to eat when it reaches at least 150, but I would like to go a little bit above, so I'm gonna bring this up to at least 158, maybe 165, 170. I don't mind it being well done, I just want it to be done for sure. Anyway, as you can see, the pit is climbing as well, but as I said, we'll see where it levels out. This is gonna take a while. Oh well, so this has been cooking about 2 hours at 225 now, and this is what we have. Oh, sorry about that. This is what we have. Got some steaming water with some guk on it, so it's gonna take some cleaning to get that off. Anyway, these are the meatballs. They reached 158, so I'm happy with that. I'm transferring them to a bowl and have a taste test. Okay, there we go. Some smoked wild hog meatballs. Those flavors, not gamey at all. They taste a lot. Of course, the garlic is prominent in this, but garlic and wild hog, like garlic and lamb, goes really well together. I'm gonna enjoy this with some cream sauce and some mash of some kind, I think, or maybe pasta. We'll see. Thank you for watching. Bye.